Hello learners and welcome to Code Cracks. Today we will talk about embedding models. So, what exactly is an embedding model? At its heart, it is an AI model, often a neural network that acts as like a universal translator. It takes complex stuff like image, text, sounds and then convert it into list of numbers called vectors. This isn't just any list of number. It is a coordinate in spatial high dimensional embedding space. The magic is that items with similar meaning get placed close together in this space. Think of apple and pear being near each other while car will be far away. This process also cleverly reduces the data's complexity. It makes it more easier for AI to work with. So let's think about this. How might giving meaningful coordinates to data, essentially mapping concepts to geometric space, change how we interact with and discover information. Imagine searching not just by keywords but by meaning. How embedding works. Now, how do these models actually create these meaningful vectors? It is a multi-step journey for your data. First, raw data like a sentence or an image gets cleaned up through pre-processing. Then, a AI model performs feature extraction, identifying the most important characteristics. For an image, this could be shapes and textures. For text, it will be word patterns and relationships. And then at last, all this rich information is compressed into that compact lower dimensional embedding vector. This vector isn't just a summary, it is a learned representation, the essence of the input. These vectors are now primed for AI tasks like finding similarities or making predictions. This led to a crucial question. If embedding captures the essence of data, what are the implications for data privacy? Could sensitive information be unintentionally encoded? Now, let's talk about how embeddings learn their meaning. Embeddings don't just know what is similar, they learn it. This learning happens by training the model on absolutely enormous data. During training, the model adjusts itself guided by something called a loss function, which tells it how well it is doing. Our goal here to position the vectors of related items mathematically close together in that embedding space. Now, think of this as an librarian organizing books by subject, but it is just in many dimensions. There are some common training strategies that are quite clever. Some, like word to vec, learn by predicting a word from its neighbor. Other, like clip for images and text, learn by contrasting, pulling similar pairs together and pushing dissimilar pairs apart, like a dog image and a photo of dog. But training on vast, often internet source data has a flip side. What biases from social stereotypes to cued representation might be learned by models trained on vast, uncurated datasets. You can think about it. This is a huge area of ongoing research. So, why do we use embeddings? The biggest reason, they capture actual meaning and context. We are moving beyond just matching keywords or comparing raw pixels. We are getting to the semantic, which is the heart of data. This allows for incredible efficient similarity search. Want to find songs like your favorite song or articles that are on the similar topic that you are searching for? Embeddings can make this process fast and accurate. They are the engine behind many AI applications you use daily. The recommendation systems, smarter search engines, and even fraud detection systems. It is about understanding, not just matching. So let's think about this. How might the ability to quickly find similar items based on meaning rather than just keywords change how we search for information online? Could it make discovery more intuitive? Let's talk about word embeddings. Let us zoom into our first specific word type, word embedding. These are real breakthrough in NLP or natural language processing. The core idea is simple. Assign one unique fixed vector to each word in your vocabulary. This vector aims to capture the word's general meaning, learn from how it is used across huge text collections. Models like Word2Vec, Glow learn this by looking at word co-occurrence that appear in similar contexts get similar vectors. A fascinating outcome is their ability to capture analogies. The famous king minus man plus woman is equal to queen. This example shows how they learn relationship, not just definitions. Now, one fixed vector per word means bank, which could also be river, and bank, which could also be mean our finance related bank, get the same vector, which is the limitation. But when might a single fixed meaning for each word be good enough or even useful despite the context limitations? Perhaps a task needing broad semantic similarity, contextual embeddings. The one meaning per word. The one meaning per word issue of classic word embeddings led to a revolution, contextual embeddings. These models are smart enough to understand that words change their meaning based on how they are used. So, the word bank in river bank gets different vector from the bank in money in the bank, as in money in the bank. So, how does this happen? A words vector is now dynamic. It is generated based on its surrounding words in that specific sentence. The powerhouse behind this are often transformer structures, transformer architectures like BERT or GPT. A cool thing about transformer is they can process all words in sentence more or less simultaneous, understanding the full context quickly. This deep understanding of nuance is incredibly valuable. So, here is something to think about. How does understanding language nuance improve tasks like automated customer support or content moderation? Think about understanding sarcasm or subtle intent. Coming on to our next topic, sentence and document embedding. Sometimes we need to understand more than just individual words. We need to understand the whole meaning of the sentences or documents. That is where sentence and document embedding shine. Their goal is to capture the overall gist, topic, or even sentiment of an entire piece of text in a single word. This vector acts like a numerical summary or unique fingerprint for that text. This can be created by cleverly combining words together, by combining word embeddings, or by models trained specifically for this task, like the universal sentence encoder. Now think about it. If we can create a fingerprint or a document, how could this help in detecting plagiarism or misinformation? Could we track how ideas spread or evolve? Embeddings aren't just words, they are fantastic for you visuals too. Let's look at image embeddings, the challenge. Take a complex image full of pixels and turn it into meaningful vector. These heroes are CNNs are brilliant at learning features from images, starting with simpler edges, then textures, then object parts, and eventually more abstract concepts in their deeper layer. The image embedding is often taken from one of these deep layers, capturing rich visual information. And just like other embeddings, visually similar images get vectors that are close together. This is what powers search by image features you might have used. But the potential here is vast. Here is one more question. Beyond finding similar photos, how could image embedding revolutionize fields like medical diagnosis by spotting subtle patterns in X-rays or art history by analyzing artistic styles? Audio embeddings. Let's tune into our next sense, sound, with audio embeddings. These models transform all sorts of sound, speech, music, even a car horn into numerical vectors. The goal here is to capture key audio features. For speech, this could be speaker's identity or emotion. For music, it might be rhythm, melody, or genre. Often, the raw audio waveform is first converted into a spectrogram, a visual representation of sound frequencies over time. The spectrogram can then be read by models similar by those used for images like CNNs to create the embedding. We see this in voice assistant and music recommendations. But think bigger. Beyond voice commands and music apps, where else could representing sound as meaningful vectors be truly transformative? Consider detecting machine failures by their sound or monitoring biodiversity through animal cells, graph embeddings. Think of social networks, supply chains, or even how concepts are linked in the knowledge base. These are all graphs called nodes. Graphs have items called nodes and connections called edges. Graph embeddings create a vector for each node. But here is the key. The vector is based on nodes connection and its position within the entire network. They capture the structure of relationship. So nodes with similar roles or similar neighborhoods get similar vectors. This means they can learn not just about individual items but how they fit into bigger pictures, capturing both local and global structure. Imagine applying this to your company's project data. People, tasks, documents are all connected. Here is a question for you. How could embedding the relationships between your company's project data like people, tasks, documents help uncover hidden systems or knowledge gap? And that's our foundational journey into the world of embeddings, from text to images to audios to even complex network. Embeddings provide a powerful way for AI to understand meaning and relationships. They are cornerstone of many intelligent systems we interact with. Thanks for watching.